So this week we are blessed with the presence of a Jimmy Award finalist, a Sutton Foster Ovation Award winner, and the current star in Jagged Little Pill, and he's going to be a series regular in the upcoming series Safe Haven. So everyone, welcome to the Take a Bow podcast, the uber talented Antonio Cipriano.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you
Oh
so
my
much for
goodness.
having me, man. I'm excited.
Thank you.
Excited.
Thank you for coming on. I'm very excited. This is our first time actually ever meeting each other, so this is
I
very
know. I
exciting.
feel like we've been
Um,
friends for so long.
oh yeah, I mean, you can chalk it down. We've known each other for years, like
Yeah.
that's how it works. um, so let's the way I like to start off all my like chats and whatnot. I like to ask people what was their story? Like, how did you get into the entertainment industry now that you're both a Broadway and TV star?
Thank you. So it started when I was a kid. I wasn't a child star as you were, but
Oh God.
I did around 8 years old. My parents were like, okay, this kid is crazy. Like he needs to do something with this like energy that he has. Cause I was
Yeah.
running around the house shirtless, singing like parades, everything, you know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
we're like, okay, let's just like sign him up for a musical theater camp or something, like see what he does. And they signed me up for a summer camp at my local community theater. I did High School Musical and I was Zeke,
Yes.
High School
Yeah.
Musical Junior. I was Zeke and it was the best thing I've ever done.
I love
And
it.
I peaked, but I kept going. I was doing shows I did like 20 shows before I graduated high school. So it was just nonstop. I
And
loved
this
it.
was all in your local, theater community, yes?
Yeah, so I did community theater, I did high school theater, middle school, like whatever I could do. I was trying to do like two or three shows at a time because if I was not busy, I would go crazy. So like
Mm,
I was always doing it. I was always
absolutely.
doing a show. Yeah.
So was your first time in New York for the Jimmy Awards?
No, my first time in New York, I had gone, I think one other time, one or
Oh,
two other
wow.
times, and I think the first or second time I went was when I saw my first Broadway show. I saw Les Mis when I was 13.
Yes.
I was obsessed. It was like my first, like almost. It wasn't my introduction to Broadway because I was doing shows and stuff, but like that was what made me like really want to do it. I think was Les
Right.
Mis. Oh my gosh, this is amazing! And I was doing the show at my community theater at the time,
Oh, no
so like it was all
way.
just like really cool.
Oh,
And I met Ramin Karimloo and everything, and it was like the craziest thing. I was freaking out. So
casual, super casual.
yeah, yeah.
I love that. That's so cool. Okay,
Mhm.
so your like big break was your performance in Hello My Baby, which you did at your local town in Michigan, right?
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
yeah. I did it at
Um,
my high school. Yeah.
right. So you won the Sutton Foster Ovation Award, and that got you a spot at the Jimmy Awards, which was and in the 2017 Jimmy Awards, which was the year
Mhm.
that Ben Platt hosted, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm obsessed with the Jimmy Awards, by the way. Actually, the year before, the Finding Neverland kids guest judged the
What?
Jimmy Awards. And it was like the year that Eva won.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, it was like, that was my first ever experience. Cause I knew, so where I'm from like near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I
Okay.
work with Van Kaplan and Keisha all the time. Cause
Yes.
that was like my local theater with them.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, so they're the best. So
Mhm.
this is your first time on a Broadway stage, right? So
Yes.
let alone, I mean, like, first of all, you were on like the most terrifying one in the Minskoff.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like where you were just like stepping out there for the first time and you were just singing your song?
Oh, it was insane. So like we obviously had rehearsal earlier on in the day and everything. So like we had walked out on the stage and had that moment. Like people were crying. Like it was a very
Yeah.
emotional, incredible experience. And then when we got out onto the stage for the opening number, thank God I didn't have a solo in the opening number because I was sobbing. Like I was like,
Yeah.
wait a second, why am I crying right now? I'm freaking out because I'm like in
Right.
the back corner and we're all turned facing the back of the stage, and then we all turn around and like come with me. And I was like, I turn around and I see the audience and I'm like, oh my God, this is the craziest thing I've ever done. Like my dream
Yeah.
was coming true basically. It was like amazing. So yeah, I definitely cried, and I'll own that. It was great.
Yeah.
But then like, thank God that we had the opening number, because then the medley was just like fun. I was like, let's go.
Right.
We're do it. We're having fun. And I had so much fun during the medley.
Uh,
Honestly, that was like the best experience ever.
I love
Starting
that.
out and everything was really cool.
How does
So
that work? So like, so take us through like a week of the Jimmy Awards. Like, how does the whole like medley work? Who like puts that together? Do the boys who in your group do that? Like, how's that work?
yeah, so basically we all after we win our regional program, we send in a video of our medley, our like song that we would sing in our show, and then we also send in a video of our finalist song if we were to be a finalist.
Uh
And
huh.
then they take it, and the music director puts it all, like they pick which ones they want in the medley, and they do that, and they put it all together, and you go to the first rehearsal and it's all together and ready to go.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's amazing how they do it. And yeah, and they had to like kind of like change the keys on some of the stuff to make things work, and it was just it was a very cool experience, and like
Oh
one
my
of it
god.
one yeah.
It's literally like, in my opinion, I haven't been to a Tony Awards, but like I've been to the Jimmy Awards, and for me, that was like more entertaining than the Tony Awards. Like, you're
Honestly,
seeing
it
live
is.
performances.
Oh, it is so amazing. Like the intensity and the excitement in that room, because
Yeah.
everyone is doing it for the first time. Like it's
Right.
everyone's first time on a Broadway stage, and it's like, oh my gosh, just watching everyone like at the top of their game, just like, this is, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go all out because this is the coolest things I've ever done in my life. So
Yeah.
um yeah, and I did a lot of people deal with this throughout the whole week. You're rehearsing a lot, and you know, like the first few days, you know, you want to show off your voice and stuff for everybody and stuff like that. So I
Oh.
literally like lost my voice going into the last
Yikes.
day. Like I woke up the day of the Jimmys and I couldn't talk. Like I had to borrow someone's steamer. Like it was really bad.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah, luckily someone was like, "Oh yeah, just use mine." I was like, "This isn't sanitary, but I need it, so let's do this." Um, yeah,
COVID would
and
not allow that.
yeah, so it ended up working out and it was all good. But yeah, you. My one tip to anyone going to the Jimmys: preserve your voice, because you
Yeah.
know you don't need to show off the whole week. Just like take a step back and really like, the end goal is the last day, like the
Right.
performance. You don't need to go 100% every single time. You know.
So the Jimmy Awards, I mean, we're basically like in the Jimmy Awards season. It's coming back. It's coming virtual. Are you going to be watching this year?
Oh, 100%. It's on Thursday, right? Like it's
Yeah.
happening very soon. And
Yes.
is it virtual? Like, are they doing it live, or is it all virtual? I
I
think it's
believe
virtual.
it's all virtual. I don't know. Maybe the performance is live. I don't think
Yeah.
it is, but I know that it's streaming. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
how I'm
Okay.
watching it. you
Oh,
know?
I will 100% be watching. I'm
Yeah.
so excited for it. It's the most exciting night ever. And I wish that they were able to do it live. You know, it really does. It breaks my heart that they aren't able to do it live,
Yeah.
honestly. But hopefully next year it'll be able to come back and like be the big event of the season.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely. It so deserves to
I'm very
be.
excited to do it. Yeah.
Well, ever since the Jimmy Awards, I mean, your career has literally taken off. And now, like I said earlier, you currently play Phoenix in Jagged Little Pill, which is a role that you actually originated when it
Yes.
opened on Broadway, and you were in it before Broadway in Boston. So, were you
Mhm.
in it before Boston, or was that when you joined?
So I was in it from the first workshop. So they did a
Oh,
reading before
wow.
that I was not in, and then there was a workshop. Um, and the way that I got it, actually, so I did the workshop and then out of town and then Broadway. But the way that I got it was so funny. It was like a few months after the Jimmy Awards,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a Facebook message from the casting director for Jagged,
Oh, my
and he was just like, "Hey, I'm the casting director. I would love for you to send in a video for this role. this Alanis Morissette musical. I was like, who is Alanis
Oh
Morissette? My mom freaked out.
no
She's like, oh my god.
way.
I didn't know because like her album came out in 1995. I was not a thought yet. So, but I grew up listening to all the music. Like I knew every song was going.
Okay.
But yeah. So that's kind of how it all worked out. And then I sent in a self tape, and then ended up going to the final callback and everything in New York, and it was the craziest thing. But yeah, that's basically how it happened. I was
Oh my
part of
god.
yeah
A Facebook message. That's
a Facebook message.
incredible.
Yeah,
That's just like that's when you know it was like meant to be,
it was
like
really cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's so freaking cool. So I like to ask people that have been with production since the very beginning, like how
Mhm.
has it changed since the like when you remember it, to now opening up on Broadway?
Yeah, there are so many things that change. I mean, even my favorite song that I sing in the show, "That I Would Be Good," was not even a part of the show in the workshop.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So just things like that, like adding whole new songs, taking songs out, like it's like a whole crazy process that is ever changing until opening night on Broadway. So like
Yeah.
we were changing it for 3.5 years before we froze the show.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that change. Like a whole storyline can change. Like there were times in the read through where like someone would be like, you know what, I feel like this whole plot point should be in Act Two, and they're like, okay, let's
Right.
try it. And then it happens like that, and
Wow.
it's the coolest thing. And it was my first time originating a role. Obviously, I was doing like high school theater. Like I didn't know what I was doing,
Yeah.
but after the first read through, I vividly remember this. Like Diane, Diablo, all of the creatives of the show. After we got finished with the first read through, they're like, "Okay, how do you guys feel about it? Give us your feedback. What do you think your character needs? What do you like?"
Oh
And I
my
was like,
god.
"You guys want to hear from me? Like, you want me
Right.
to tell you how I feel about my character? Like, what? That is so like that's so foreign to me. Like, I didn't know that concept. That like so
Yeah.
it was a whole new experience, but it was incredible and so cool. And
Well,
I would love to
like,
read another character. Yeah.
oh, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, is this something that like you loved, like that you managed to do so brilliantly? I mean, you literally
Oh,
like you
thank
can
you.
tell when you're on the stage, like in a way, it's you. Like I mean, they've built the role around you. Like, is that something that you enjoy, or is it like, do you like portraying someone else's version of someone? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, no, I love both
yeah,
ways. I love like taking what someone else has done with a role and like putting my own spin on it and doing that for sure. I love originating roles though. I think it was so
yeah.
cool because I was able to make Phoenix so much of myself. Like it was really awesome how that happened. And like just like small things that happened in the rehearsal room ended up getting on the stage. Like the whole like dog tags line,
Oh yeah.
literally like in rehearsal, it was the first time I was rehearsing the scene where I had to take my shirt off, and Diane was like, "Hey, can you take your shirt off?" I was like, "Yeah." I had a dog tag on. It was my
Oh my
grandma gave it
god.
to me. I was just like, "Okay, yeah, let
Oh.
me just take off my shirt." And we were rehearsing it, and Lauren goes, "Oh," she walks in the room. She's like, "Oh, you were wearing dog tags with no shirt." And then like in the next run, she was like, "He was wearing dog tags with no shirt, like a douche." And then we like the room freaked out, and it got in the show. Like there's so many
I
cool
love
things
it.
like that happen. That, yeah, it's such a different experience
Yeah.
than someone else's role. Yeah. So I would
Oh,
love to
I
do it
love
again.
that.
I would love to do that.
And it's also
Yeah.
cool to like know like as someone who's going to be doing it every night how those little beats came in, and like
Yeah.
it just like means that much more and you can play it in such a way that means more to you which then portrays to the audience and it's just amazing, um
100%.
I
Yeah.
yeah, I just love all of that. That's so cool. And I think that's one of the things about Diane too and the way that she directs and everything. Like even if you're not in the original cast, she actually like puts in the work for like people who will join later and like makes
Yeah.
you feel a part of the show and allows you to have all of those character developed moments that like original Broadway casts do. And I just think
Absolutely.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about. So you're actually my first guest who's been in Jagged Little Pill. So
Really?
Yeah, so I'm very excited to talk about Jagged Little
Yay.
Pill because I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, thanks.
The story of Jagged Little Pill, I mean,
Yes.
it's just absolutely so, like you've said, like emotional, and it's just so
Yeah.
brilliant, and it's so important to like tell a story such as that. Is that something that kind of drew you to the production, or like, yeah,
100%. Absolutely. So when I first auditioned for it, I didn't know a single thing about it. There was no
okay,
script. They didn't give me a script. It was just my sides. Um, and then when I first got into the room and we did that read through, I was like, oh my gosh, like
yeah,
this is important. This is something
yeah,
that needs. This is, and I was 17, so like there were a lot of things that were new to me that I had
mm-hmm.
never experienced before, never even like heard these kind of stories before. So, and even that reaction from me is like, okay, this is a very important story to tell because I didn't know a lot of this stuff. A
Yeah,
lot of people don't know a lot of this stuff, and we need to share that with the world. People need to know about this
exactly.
stuff. So it in that way, it is very, very. It's an honor to be a part of the show. It was an honor to tell that story every night.
Oh my
And
god.
obviously, a lot of cast members had it a lot like doing 8 shows a week of like what Catherine had to do and what Elizabeth had to do. Those kinds of things are very taxing on the mind, on the body. Like it is
Absolutely.
a very intense show, and
Mhm.
we really had to, we really became a family because of that. It was a very tight knit cast because of the intensity of the show. So
Yeah.
it was an honor to be part of it for sure, and to have that be my first thing was really a really cool experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
so literally every night, like you could be across the street hanging out at Frozen or whatever, and you can still
yeah.
hear the people like coming out of the stage door just crying. Like, like
Oh,
of people who have just came out of the show and just how moved and
mm,
everyone is and the way that
yeah,
you like come out moved, educated, and just like in a loving mood. And I think that's just like the beauty of all theater, but especially with Jagged Little Pill. I think it's just so it's incredible. I'm
yeah.
obsessed. If you can't tell.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then you guys are still like a fairly new show when COVID hits. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys have been around the block, I mean, but like you're still fairly new. Um
Mhm.
how have you kind of like what was that like week like where you guys are still fairly new, and then all of a sudden COVID hits and it's like, oh, we may have to shut down, but only for like a few weeks and it'll be fine and then we'll
Yeah.
reopen. And then like all of this like just continued to grow and it came longer. Like what was all of that like? How did you personally navigate through it all?
Yeah. So this is kind of like a a long answer. So
Mm-hmm.
I obviously I was with the show for about 3.5 years. Like it was a while.
Right.
And so I there are, the whole previews process and everything like that, and rehearsals into previews into opening and like press and everything. Like there's so much going on when you're first opening a show. Like it is
Yeah.
insane. And it was my first time doing that. Like I had never done that. And then we went to the holidays and like there was all that, like nine
Right.
shows a week, 10 shows a week. Like it was crazy. And then I was also
Yeah.
doing beauty on top of that. I did the notebook reading in June.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Oh my
I
god.
I literally worked myself into the ground. Like I was exhausted.
Sure.
Um, so actually, when COVID happened, when we were shut down, and it was only going to be a month, I was like, "Oh, let me take a breath. This is actually kind
Right.
of nice for a second. I get to regroup. I get to like heal from this like train that I was on that was never ending, and it was going to go for a whole year. Like
Oh
I
my
was
god.
going to work myself into the ground for an entire year, and just like it was something that I was not ready to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at COVID. I was like, okay, this is nice. This is a good regroup time. I can just relax for a second. So I was relieved a little bit. And then we left the day after, went back home, and never came back.
Oh my
Didn't come
god.
back for it's been a year and a half now. So like I'm a completely different person than when I left the show.
Right.
It's it's wild to think that we haven't lost, but like a whole year and a half has gone
Right.
by. It's like, because I have learned a lot in this year. Like I've grown in ways that I would have never grown. Like I'm thankful for this year, 100%.
Absolutely.
But it is wild to think that we have lost a year and a half of Broadway, of everything.
Right.
So, um, as we kept going and as we kept getting pushed back, as there was no answer of coming back, I was like, whoa, okay, so this is like real life now. It was vacation, now it's real life. Like this is my life now. I need to, start auditioning, start figuring stuff out, and figure out
Yeah.
how to live, how to, do everything uh, normal again. So that was a big learning curve again, because like we go from such a high of like on Broadway debut, like it's so cool, and then stop, and it stopped after 4 months,
Yeah.
and like it was a big shift. So
And
it
it
was
wasn't
tough
like a
for a while.
gradual shift. It was just like
No, it was just like,
all at
oh, you're done.
once. It was
Bye.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
yeah, I can't
So,
imagine.
and if I'm honest, I'm still figuring it out. I think everyone is. I mean, we're a year and a half in, and I'm still like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Like, what's happening? Like,
Right.
it happens, and it's okay to feel that way. I've learned
Mhm.
that it's okay to feel that way.
Sure.
Um, so I'm I'm figuring it out. I'm happy Broadway is coming back, and like things are getting back to normal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was definitely a big shift though.
Right. So now that Broadway is coming back, are you gonna be in Jagged Little Pill like again? Are you
Yeah,
going
so
back?
there's conversations happening. Like it's still going on, ongoing stuff. Like
Okay.
offers are out and everything. Just figuring out scheduling and stuff like that, because there's other things. Obviously, we had a year and a half to like have other things come up. So it's that whole process is still ongoing, and we're figuring it all out. But yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm
Well,
excited for
I'm
Blake to
very
be back regardless. Yeah,
exactly. Just to be able to even like see it,
yeah,
like even if I'm not working, I'm just excited to see people
right.
support everyone. Like that's just like the way that this community is. It's all about like supporting each other, and I like can't wait to have that feeling back in my life again.
Oh my gosh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, even like through COVID, I know, like you said, like everything stopped and whatnot, but like you still managed to work a lot, like you've been doing a lot of things.
Yeah,
And, yeah. And, like most recently, you had a cast album come out called In the Light. So
yeah.
speak about this project for those who may not know about it. And then I have a couple questions to follow.
Yeah, yeah. In the light was created by Michael Mott and Nathan Wright, and
Hmm.
Michael had been, I believe, working on this project. I had been saying since college, but I saw in an interview recently that he's been working on it since high school. Like it's been an idea
Oh,
for a long.
wow.
So to be a part of it is incredible and such an honor. And he actually reached out to me about the show in 20 November of 2018. He DM'd me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, you're so great! Like, I would love for you to send in a video
Oh.
and like, see if you can be a part of the show." And I was like, "Yes, I would love to. I would love to be a part of it." And when he, Dare to Dream and everything, I had already heard Jeremy and Laura on
Oh.
their song, their version of it. So I was super pumped about it. So I did one of the first workshops of the show, and then there was like a few other recordings that I did here and there, and then over COVID, he was like, "We're gonna record this album. I'm gonna get a full symphony in Vienna, and we're gonna do this remotely." And I was like, "Great, let's
Oh
go!"
my god.
I'm excited. So it honestly, like the fact that it all came together the way it did is so beautiful,
Right.
and yeah, being a part of two albums that have been recorded remotely this quarantine, it was so incredible how they were put together and like how they were managed
Wow.
to happen. Yeah, like I filmed in Tennessee, I filmed in LA, I filmed in New York, I
Oh
filmed
my god.
everywhere. So it was really amazing how they were able to make it work.
That's so freaking cool. I love
Yeah.
that. Like, that's the other thing about, like, I know, like, a lot of people. haven't been like working live and whatnot, but to see what everyone's been able to do and like still manage to like work and like do things from home and just figure it out as we go, like it's
Yeah.
so cool what people have been able to do virtually on these like those Broadway whodunits, which I know you did, like
Yes.
all of those like
Yeah.
things, like those fun things. Everyone's just been making art for people. It's just so
Yeah.
it's cool, like, and we don't even realize that, like, I mean, I guess we do because they did it, but like at the same time it's like how is this a thing? How are we able to be in like four different places at once? And like it's just so cool.
No, it
um
is really, really cool. And Andrew, I mean, Andrew got me
yeah.
through COVID for a second. Like, good for him. I'm sure
Really.
you guys talked about it, but like, he was amazing. Like
Oh
doing
my god.
making all this content for people. Like, it
The
was.
Broadway Jackbox, all those
Yeah,
things.
no, he was killing it. I was like, damn, good for you, man.
Eh,
Good for you.
yeah, now he's in High School Musical, no big
Yeah,
deal,
no,
like
he's like actually killing it right now. Just released another
right.
song. Like, come on, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh my god,
No big
Every
deal.
Pretty Girl, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yes. So and now, I mean, you have songs out now too. Like, come on. You and
Yeah.
then of course, back to In the Light. So you, I mean, I guess like you weren't able to be. Were you able to be in the room with people like singing, or like was it just you like
Hmm.
remotely? Like, how did all that
So
work?
so when we did it remotely, I recorded most of my stuff on the album here in
Mm-hmm.
LA. Michael knew a guy out here who like we both got tested. Like he has a home studio, so we both got tested. He wore a
Got
mask,
it.
I wore a mask, and we recorded in his home studio. And Michael was on Zoom, and we just figured it out. We just did it, and it was very COVID safe. Like I was turned this way, and he was turned that way. Like it was good.
Right.
Yeah,
I
we
love
figured it.
that.
Yeah,
How cool is it to have like a song out there with like you and Jeremy Jordan and Sierra Renee and like all these
let
people,
me tell you, it is so humbling to be with these people in this cast. Like
It's unbelievable,
powerhouse.
this cast.
Yeah, yeah, and like I mean, obviously, I was looking up to Jeremy Jordan since I was younger. Like he's
Right.
like Smash. I had news, like all of this stuff. So working with him, and I actually got to work with him in the workshop of the show, and that was amazing. That was very cool. And like
Oh,
I'd worked with
that's
Saleha
awesome.
before. She is incredible. I haven't worked with
So
Sierra yet, but
talented.
she's absolutely yeah. So just like yeah, it was very very cool to be a part of such a talented cast. It was
You
really cool.
guys, like when Broadway reopens and everything's like safe and all, but you guys have to have like a little cast party or something and just like
I know,
actually
like,
be
we
able to
didn't
meet
get to
people.
celebrate it. Yeah,
Right.
I hope that we get to celebrate it at some point with
Yeah.
everybody because things are
Cause
opening up. Like things are back. Like vaccines and
exactly.
everything. We're good. We're good to celebrate some of our successes over this year and a half because it's been so sad. God,
Yeah.
life has been so sad.
I know.
Sorry
I'm
to
like,
be a
that's
downer,
what
but
I love about this. Like, at least I'm still like figuring out ways to like meet new people and like be able
yeah,
to talk to people that aren't my family like members that
right.
like I see every day. I'm like, it's good to talk to some new faces and like all
Yes, I
that.
love that you're doing this. This is so cool. Did you pick it up during COVID, or
I
was it?
did. It was
Yeah,
it was actually an idea before COVID, and then it just like worked out that like
yeah.
COVID happened, and like it
I
was
mean,
a way to like, yeah, it shifted as in like a way to keep everyone entertained, and actually I
nice.
started this with Sydney Lucas, who did your
Oh my god.
thespians. Yeah,
Yes,
that was,
yes.
I
So
loved
cool.
that was so
Yeah.
brilliant. That was another
Oh,
fun thing
thank
you
you.
did through COVID. Oh my
Yeah, no,
gosh.
Pacey killed that, man. I mean, like
Yes.
just having those rehearsals and like it's very impressive seeing what he's done. Like he just
Hmm.
booked two things. Like he's doing really really
Oh
well.
wow.
And like yeah, and I saw him at the Jimmy's. I saw him do his thing. So
Yeah.
it's cool to see these people come out of the Jimmy's and like just like coming up young like you and stuff. Like it's
Oh
really
my god.
really it's a cool little group that we got going. You
It's
know,
amazing.
it's
Yeah,
fun.
it's awesome to see like it grow every year too. Like it seems like
Yeah,
more and more people are becoming more aware of it, you should like that. I don't know. I feel like there's nothing better than like watching young talent, like especially like like everyone's still like figuring themselves out. the
Yeah.
voices are changing, everything's happening, but and then it gives them a space to like perform. And I
Yeah.
think that's like brilliant, you know, like on a Broadway stage, there's like you don't have like that's better than America's Got Talent, like if you ask me, you know,
Yeah.
like
Oh my
yeah, it,
gosh.
the opportunity is just so cool. I love the Jimmy Awards. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's
Do
one of the
you
coolest.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally. Do you have a favorite song in the Light album?
I'd say that my favorite song to sing is
Okay.
"Tomorrow Begins Today,"
Oh,
but my
so good.
favorite song to hear is probably "Rise or Fall" because it's so intense, and I love Jeremy and Bobby's voices. Like they're both
Uh-huh.
incredible, and I've worked with Bobby too, and he's just like oh, amazing. He's like a big brother. He's the coolest guy.
Oh, I love
But
that.
like their voices together on that just like is so cool. And it's so
Uh,
intense and so big. And I love that kind of stuff. Like Les Mis is my favorite musical. I'm a big into big symphony orchestra type stuff. So
absolutely.
mhm.
That the synth, oh my god, the way that like just everything, you would never know that like it was done virtually. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, I feel like it has to be like so hard, especially with like the fact that Jeremy and Bobby were like singing the same song. You would never know they weren't in the same room. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
like it's amazing how like all of that has been able to like work and work extremely well. Like the album
Yeah.
is incredible. I can't stress that
Thank
enough.
you.
It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
It's a testament to how amazing Michael and everyone worked on like worked
Yeah.
tirelessly to get this together. It was really, really cool.
So like is there like a next step with this show? Like what's happening?
As of right now, I don't know. He has texted me that he's very excited about things that are happening. So I don't.
Oh,
He's like,
good.
once I can tell you, I'm very excited. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what's going on with it. But I don't know. I
I
think
know.
it's got some exciting things coming up for sure.
Well, that's great because I
Yeah.
mean, as sad as it is to hear, like you know how COVID affected a few shows that has had to close, it's been I don't know. It gives everyone an opportunity to see new art and like new
Yeah.
pieces, and I'm excited for those next opportunities and next new things to go see. I mean, like
Yes.
it's just yeah, that's a positive of COVID. You know, like there's that
Yeah.
negative side of oh
Mhm.
this show closed, but you have to look at the positives. You know, especially during these
Absolutely.
times.
Absolutely. You
Um,
definitely got to point out the positives because there's too many negatives to think about.
right?
So,
Oh my god!
yeah.
And then like all of these incredible shows like Trevor. And, I mean that's off Broadway, but like that and there's so many amazing shows just coming out, and
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen's coming back to Broadway. Like, who would have thought he would have opened Broadway? Like, it's such a
I know.
2021 thing, you know.
I know.
Like, it's like the like if you want to describe 2021, it's the fact that Bruce Springsteen opened Broadway back up. You
Yes, he
know,
is
like
the first Broadway show to come back.
yeah, it's just like it's incredible, but it's allowed
Yeah.
so many fun like things to come back into our lives and new
Mhm.
things to come into our lives as well.
Yeah.
But speaking of COVID, so like I said, you did the thespians video and you've been doing Broadway Who Done It and all of that. Like,
Mhm.
what other things have you been doing to like pass your time or like both in projects or in like daily lives, like scrolling through TikTok or whatever, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
TikTok has become therapy. But,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I've been it has been weird. Like, I'm just like a different person now. Like, I do
Yeah.
different things, I've picked up a lot of golf. I golf a lot.
No way.
Yeah, it just like really calms me down. I'm just like, "All right." And I found this really, really beautiful course in California.
Okay.
It's like on a hill that like you get a view of everything. Oh my gosh, it's
Oh
like
my
amazing.
god.
Like it's more just like I'm gonna come up here and just like look at the views and play a little golf and just relax. And it's
That's
really
sick.
calming for me. I've been trying to, stay healthy, work out a little bit, try to, stay in shape because
Sure.
I'm not doing 8 shows a week. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a whole different thing because like
I know.
you're working your butt off when you're on the show. Like you don't even have to work out during the day for
Right.
Broadway, but now I'm just sitting on my butt. Like I don't even know. I have to. You got to stay active a little bit. So there's
Sure.
that. I've just been trying to do whatever I can, try to seize every opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love that.
Singing with friends. Yeah, I'm trying to sing as much as possible, just because it does make me happy. And like, if you don't, you just get really sad and stuff like that. So we're trying to make it work, trying to make life
Yeah.
work. You know,
Yeah.
we've been
Well,
auditioning
first
a
off,
lot
we,
too.
oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, like as abruptly as everything stopped, it's abruptly everything started back up, and like auditions have been coming
Yeah,
in 10 at a time,
yeah.
which is great.
Mm.
Overwhelming sometimes, but great. But yeah. So first off, we need to go golfing when you're in New York.
Oh my gosh, you
I've
golf?
assessed. I do. I have clubs right there.
Okay, yeah, let's
Oh my
go.
god.
Let's go.
I don't know if you can see them.
I can see him. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go golfing.
My room
100%.
is not clean. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. There's like 3 courses near me. I moved recently, so like
Where you
I've
at?
just tried one. I'm actually in Rockaway Beach now. So like I'm 2 blocks away from the beach. It's like I'm chilling.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because like I lived in Long Island City, and I
Okay.
lived in this like apartment. But I have 5 family members, so it's me, it's my mom, my dad, and I have 3 siblings. And
Okay.
my 3 siblings, and I'm the youngest, so I got a sister
Oh,
and a brother, and I'm the youngest, and we were all sharing a room, and so it was a
ah,
lot. It was a
during
lot,
COVID,
and
was it just during COVID or was it like,
it was just during COVID because everyone was in college. So
yeah.
like they were
Oh
away
gosh.
and we'd only have to do it like during the summer, which was like 2 months. So it was doable, like, and
Yeah,
it was like time that we wanted together because we had missed the past 8 months or whatever.
exactly.
And now
Exactly.
we're like pulling each other's
Get
hair out.
away. Yeah.
So we were
Yeah.
like, we need bigger spaces.
Yes.
And
That's
we resorted here because my mom wanted to be at the beach. So yeah, so now there's a bunch of golf courses near me, and I'm like, I've been
oh,
trying to go more often, and it's like great.
that's
But
amazing.
yeah, I love it. So I'm actually a big hockey fan. So
Cool.
hockey players and hockey fans. I don't know if you can tell like all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're big golfers. It's kind of
Nice.
similar, but not really. So another thing, I you mentioned singing. And
Yeah.
I noticed earlier that when I was saying with the Jimmy Awards and everyone's voice is changing and all that, you kind of had like a bit of a like reaction. I want to ask you about your voice change. How was that? Like
Oh my
navigating
gosh.
that? It's no
My voice
joke.
changed. Um, my voice is still changing, believe it or not. Still trying to figure it out.
Uh
Um,
huh.
but I actually remember the first time that I realized my voice had changed from like yeah to like yeah. It was
Yeah.
when I was in. I think I was in like it might have been freshman or sophomore. No, no, it was like eighth grade or something. And
Oh,
no, no, it was like seventh grade. I started whenever at the normal time.
what?
Um, seventh grade, I think maybe. I was. It wasn't like low, but it wasn't like I couldn't sing like "I Want You Back" by Michael Jackson anymore. Like I
Right.
couldn't. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I sang "I Won't Give Up" at like at a theater camp or something,
Uh
and I
huh.
was able to sing it in Jason Mraz's key, and I was like, "That's weird," because like I can't usually do that. So I was like,
Right.
"Whoa, my voice is changing. This is great." I was like, "Whoa, my voice is changing." So yeah, I think it was like seventh grade or something. But yeah, my voice is truly still changing. Like I'm 21 and like my voice cracks all the time. So like I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey, like figuring it out. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
Well, I'm jealous because I'm going into my freshman year of college, and I still haven't allowed myself to think that my voice has changed.
oh my
My
god,
voice actually changed 2 years ago, and when I was like just entering my sophomore year, so it was a late change.
yeah,
But so I still haven't
yeah.
allowed myself. I still think I have that high pitched voice, but that's a whole nother
I'm
story.
sure you do. Like I can tell that you can sing pretty high. Like, can you just
I
like
can't though.
belt your
Like
face off?
I don't know, like, I can't figure it out. That's my problem. Everyone
Yeah.
I talk to tells me that. You're like, "Your speaking voice is so high, you should be able to belt." And I'm like, "I can't." Like, I don't know what's going on.
Well, you probably are. Like I'm obviously like everyone's voice is still changing. Like our voice
Yeah.
changes forever, like until we're older. So, um, but yeah, like it probably didn't change for a while because you were doing shows and you
Yeah.
kind of like were always singing up there or something, and then it you had like sort of a delayed like
Yeah,
drop,
literally. I was
you know?
actually so do you know Trevor the Musical? It's coming off Broadway.
I don't know. Maybe. I think
It's about the Trevor project.
okay. Yes,
So
I have heard about
so
this. Yeah.
yeah, so I was doing that my freshman year in Chicago. That was the world premiere. So literally, I was doing that
Right.
every night. And so then it closed on a Sunday. I had Monday. I woke
Yeah.
up and I flew back. And then I woke up Tuesday and my voice dropped. I was like,
What?
thank God that
What?
that was like, that was, it held out just right. Like, it
That's
noticed I wasn't
amazing.
singing it and it was like, okay, I can drop. I was like,
Wow.
thank you, Lord. Um, but speaking of all of the singing stuff, you actually have an upcoming 54 Below concert on August
Yes.
5th. I
Yes.
want to talk
August
about
5th.
this. Are we allowed to talk about this? Like, what are you
Yeah.
allowed to tell me?
Yeah. I ask me questions and I will try to answer them. We'll see.
Amazing. So, what is it about? I know it's like nostalgia. So,
Yeah.
what is it like?
Yeah.
Older
So
music?
yeah, the idea for the concert. So they asked me to do it. They asked me to do a concert.
Uh
I was like, great. I don't know what I'm going to do, but let me figure it out. Um, and I started realizing I was like, my go-to music for COVID and everything is like throwback music to when I was a kid, like
right.
early 2000s music. Like that is what I go to for when I'm stressed and when I'm like when I want to wind down.
Wow.
That's what I listen to. That's like my favorite kind of music. So I was like, let me just do my throwback playlist
Hmm.
as my music.
Brilliant.
So I'm doing a lot of songs from when I was younger. So not a
So,
lot of
not like
musical theater,
Broadway.
not
Yeah.
a lot. There are going to be like two things musical theater, I think, which I know that you know I should probably do more, but I
No.
was just like I've had a whole year and a half. I was just like, let me just do what I want to sing. I just want to have
Yeah.
fun singing it, and like that's what I love to sing, and that's my favorite kind of music. So I'm just gonna do it. Um, so I'm pumped about doing that, and I've talked with I have Tyler Kappa as my music director,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I found my two I have my whole band now, and I'm so pumped about it. Um,
Yeah. Yes.
the guitarist I worked with them on the Notebook. Sorry, is the lawnmower outside really loud?
It's fine.
Is it?
Everyone, yeah, yeah, yeah. Trust me, it's
God,
all good.
they're like right by my window. Get away! Get away! Is
Oh,
it gonna mess
everyone
it up?
knows. No,
Is
not
it
at
gonna?
all.
Oh, okay, okay,
I can hear
cool,
you, so that's all that matters.
cool,
Everyone understands we're at home.
cool.
I think.
Um, yeah, so just like I got my whole band together, I'm so pumped about it, and it's gonna be super fun.
Is this your
And I have
solo concert debut?
I did a solo concert in 2018. In 2018, I
Okay.
did a solo concert,
Oh my god.
um, and it was
Amazing.
actually from like all of the YouTube videos that Tyler and I used to post. Like
Oh,
I was
okay.
in high school, and they reached out to us and they're like, "Hey, we love your videos on YouTube. We'd love for you to do a concert." And I was like, well, let's do it. Let's have some fun. And then the few days before the concert, I got laryngitis. So that was
What?
horrible. It was a horrible experience.
Oh
Um,
my god.
yeah, and
Terrifying.
it wasn't very fun. Like, I mean, it was a great concert. It was like super fun, but I
Yeah.
could barely sing. So that
Hopefully
kind of.
this one's better.
Hopefully this one's better. I'm gonna pray I don't get laryngitis this time.
Right. Hopefully
So
this one works in your favor. How
yeah.
excited are you to be back on a stage?
Oh, I am so pumped. I think we're gonna have so
Yeah.
much fun. Just to like see a bunch of people, and I hope by that time they're gonna be able to sell more tickets because I think we're only allowed to have 100 right now, but like the
Oh,
venue
okay.
is like 150 or something. So hopefully they can make more tickets go on sale so that we can have a full
Yeah.
audience. Just because like
Oh
I
my
want to
god.
feel that energy, that atmosphere, because it's been a long time. It's been a lot because like even the
Yeah.
Jagged Little Pill reunion concert, there was no audience. It was just like silence out
Right.
there. It'll be the first time in front of an audience, so I'm very excited about that. It's gonna
Oh,
be really
I'm jealous. That's amazing.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be in the audience. I'm booking a ticket to as soon
Oh
as we get
yes,
off this. Yes, I'm
absolutely.
ready. I just can't wait to see live music. So
Yeah,
that I mean, what's better?
yeah,
And it's gonna be very different from I mean what you've kind of been doing and
yeah.
being Will in the upcoming series Safe Haven. Are
Yes.
y'all done filming that or like what's going on?
Yeah. So it's so funny. With Safe Haven, we were supposed to film back in November of last year,
Oh dear.
and things kind of started things started picking up, and then COVID kind of has delayed it.
Uh huh.
So it still has been delayed. We haven't been able to work on it yet, but I am so excited for when it is able to come back. It's just it was really hard. It was like in the thick of COVID, like in the middle of it.
Wow.
We were trying to do this show, and it's
It's
really
hard.
tough because I mean, having to test people every day or like just that extra
Eh,
expense added on to what is already so expensive is
yeah.
so difficult. So the
Yeah,
logistics
and
of
the
all of it
vaccines
just
went
didn't
around,
make it
right?
work out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that whole like I'm hoping with the vaccine and everything, like things will get like restrictions will loosen and we'll be able to make it work and we'll be able to film it at some point soon. Because I was so excited to
Gotcha.
be a part of it. It's such a
Yes.
cool show. I'm so pumped
Yeah.
about it. So hopefully
Have
that
you
it
like
happens.
always wanted to do both like musical theater and like dramatic acting and like film and stuff or was it yeah, you
Yes.
do. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like my fourth grade dream career speech was me like winning an Oscar. So like I've always
Yeah.
wanted to be like in movies and TV. Like it's been a dream of mine. So
That's
it was
amazing.
so cool to book that, and also like getting a non-singing role was really cool. I was like, oh my gosh,
My
I can
voice.
act. I didn't know I could
Yeah.
act. I thought I was just getting. I'm sure you like feel that like it's.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, this lawnmower is so loud. I'm sorry about that, but
Oh, no worries.
yeah, it was really really. I was so pumped about it. So hopefully it works out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Oh my god, he's so loud.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. It's all good. Well, there it is, everyone. Watch Safe Haven when it comes out. We'll follow
Yes.
it. Wait. First, go give your social media handles so they can know when it's like coming out and stuff.
Yes. My Instagram is at Antonio Cipriano _, and that is also my TikTok. And then my Twitter is Antonio Sip _. Just
Sip.
the Sip, Antonio Sip, because
That's
they
it.
ran Antonio
That's a
Cipriano.
CIP, right? Not SIP.
CIP, yes,
Yeah.
yes, CIP. Nobody say SIP. It's CIP for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. But there you have it. Follow him along. Check out his 54 Below show. Check out Safe Haven. Listen to In the Light. It's such a beautiful album. It's got all of your favorite Broadway stars, literally. Go watch
Yeah.
Jagged Little Pill, which is like, I mean, you're just gonna go
Soon.
cry for a theater in 2.5 hours, so go for it.
Yes.
And yeah, check out Antonio Cipriano on Instagram and all the fun things on social media. And Antonio, thank you so much for doing this. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you,
on,
man.
and it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yes. It's been so fun. Thank
Oh
you.
my God, you're the best. Thank you so much.